Hello there and welcome from me, Rukidi Edward Kijanongoma, to our second and final edition of News Tonight this Monday, the 27th day of November 2023. And these are the stories making headlines at this hour. In our top stories tonight, Prime Minister Robin Nabanja to forward farmers' challenges to Cabinet for action. Uganda Wildlife Authority kills 2 unknown armed gunmen in Kabarole district. Uganda beats Nigeria close to T20 World Cup qualification. And also Uganda's under-18 loses first match against Tanzania in Kenya. Hello there and welcome once again on Sign Language. I am joined by none other than Elizabeth Nakakoni, and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanongoma. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, the Prime Minister Robin Nabanja has inspected several model farmers in Impigi district to ascertain the issues affecting the progress of farming for government action. Now, this is part of the countrywide farmer education, mobilization, value addition and service delivery campaign to improve production, productivity and profitability. We have more in this story.
The farmers visited include Kawesa Sulaiman, a farmer in Watuba village, Kasenda parish in Kituntu sub-county, and Haman Chitandwe in Kituntu sub-county. The farmers briefed the Prime Minister that people can benefit from agriculture, but they are being affected by the fake inputs for herbicides and acaricides.
Government singetuyambako netulaga abantu abatuufu abalina okutunda eddagala ekituufu kubanga nakyo okusolomesa okw'amaanyi. Eddagala omuntu asobola okuteekamu ssente nnyingi nnyo n'agula eddagala effu. So singa baba bayise ku disitulikiti ne babawa layisinsi, buli muntu n'amanya nti oyo ye muntu omutuufu alina okugulwako eddagala.
The model farmers visited in PG district have demonstrated that it is possible to get out of poverty through commercial agriculture.
Simbe mwanyi zino bwe tuzisimba tuteekamu ebitooke naye nga tubiwadde amabanga. Osobola okubeera nga wakoyina emmere ate ng'osobola n'okufunamu ssente.
The commissioner in charge of monitoring and evaluation at the office of the Prime Minister, Timothy Lubanga, says the issues raised by farmers will be documented and submitted to Cabinet for policy formulation.
Here we are taking note of each and every constraint that the farmers are facing. And the purpose is for us to record this and we present it to the highest policy makers. The Right Honourable Prime Minister will then take these issues to Cabinet and proper policy decisions will be made. We will also ensure that we follow up with each of the farmers that have been visited, plus the message that will come from the public. And we follow up to ensure that all these issues are addressed with the local government leaders, with the representatives from the ministries and with the farmers themselves.
The Prime Minister crowned the day by inspecting stalls at Buwama grounds and addressed hundreds of farmers. The campaign is part of the efforts to implement President Museveni's proposals to develop the agricultural sector.
Now, police have confirmed an exchange of gunfire between Uganda Wildlife Authority and unknown men, resulting in the death of 2 individuals. Now, one assailant escaped and police are still searching for the hideouts in Kabarole district.
Police are investigating the whereabouts of an assailant who escaped a gunfire exchange in Kabarole district between unknown individuals and Uganda Wildlife Authority officers. While on routine patrols in Kabarole district, our officers encountered a group of 3 armed men dressed in civilian clothes. A firefight ensued, resulting in the death of 2 assailants.
But we were also able to retain the rifle. So we shall also use this in our investigations. So our joint teams are still on the ground and are still investigating on how these persons came to be in that place at that time.
Meanwhile, in Mugoya district, police are investigating the robbery of 65 million shillings from an Indian national perpetrated by individuals disguised in UPDF fatigue.
Fortunately, we do have one suspect, one Rumbwe, who has been arrested and is in custody to assist with operations.
Also, police have continued operations to arrest and confiscate charcoal to discourage human activities that endanger the environment.
We have also established snap checkpoints along the different routes. The checkpoints have really proven effective in intercepting charcoal from some of the originally unmarked areas. Since the issuance of the executive order, the joint security teams in Karamoja have impounded 4,019 bags of charcoal, which were handed over to the National Forestry, the NFA, for proper management.
Meanwhile, the police advise parents to safeguard their children during the holiday season. Komagum Rogers and Ivan Kaha for UBC.
Now, Uganda hosts the 4th Annual Africa Pension Supervisors Association Conference here in Kampala, centered on the expansion of pension coverage for the informal sector workers. The two-day conference from the 27th to the 28th of November 2023 is under the theme Sustainable Pension Inclusion in Africa.
Retirement Benefits Association.
Africa has a rapidly growing elderly population and a staggering 600 million young, economically active informal sector workers excluded from formal pension and social protection systems. There is a concern that by 2050, the elderly population in Africa will soar from 69 million in 2017 to 226 million, incurring a potential fiscal cost of $1.7 trillion for providing even a modest $1 a day pension. The conference calls for quick action of inclusivity of everyone in saving for the old age.
These people are unique in the way that they will not play in the space of being forced to save. They don't want to be forced to save, number one. Number two, they need their convenience. They also they don't need to be dictated on how much to save and when to save. So you need now a unique framework that can be able to address that. And they also don't want to move away from where they're working from. So you need to go to them, sell them an idea or a product to them, and then they can be able to start saving.
Pension sector players from other African and Asian countries share their ideas and experiences on lasting positive impact on the retirement benefit sector.
I believe that this conference is of great importance and is timely and hugely relevant. Let us therefore pledge to collaborate and cooperate to collectively ensure a secure and dignified retirement for all.
Each country need not then initiate micropension inclusion from scratch. Instead, countries could simply adopt or adapt an African micropension model, albeit with necessary modifications to achieve more comprehensive pension inclusion.
The 2023 Africa Pension Supervisors Forum, co-hosted by the Africa Pension Supervisors Association, FSD Africa, Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority, and Pinbox Solutions, initiates an actionable dialogue for expanding pension coverage to non-salaried informal sector workers. Mariona Wori and Robert Katamba for UBC.
Now, lawyer Arias Lukwago has revealed plans to petition the Constitutional Court over the recent directives issued by the Speaker of Parliament against absenteeism by members of Parliament. Now, this follows confusion which struck the Parliamentary Committee, and it has already started biting. Now, despite the instructions that the protesters should not attend committee sittings, some of the accused members are confused since they receive messages inviting them for the respective sessions. Among the most affected is legislator Francis Zake, who is being investigated for alleged public disorder as a member of parliament when he provoked a fellow member of parliament, Julie Kinyamatama. Now, lawyer Eros Lukwago, who appeared in the Committee of Rules, Privileges and Discipline to represent his client, questioned why the Rules Committee invited member of parliament Zake, yet he is part of the boycotters.
Last week, the Speaker of Parliament ordered members who have boycotted plenary sessions to be excluded from any activity related to the House.
If members have decided to be out of the House, then that means they should also not be in the committees, because a committee is an extension of the House. They should not, and this one goes to the clerk.
On Monday morning, some of the usual activities, including committee proceedings, started with low attendance by the respective members.
Can you introduce yourself?
The Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline was the most affected. The committee had convened to investigate allegations that the Michana Municipality MP, Francis Zake, used defamatory statements against fellow MP Julie Kinyamatama while the accused was in Rakai district. Lawyer Eros Lukwago, who represents MP Zake, was in place to defend his client.
My client is not before this committee, and Chair, we are making a prayer that you be pleased to suspend these proceedings on grounds that our client cannot access the precincts of Parliament.
Lukwago expressed disappointment over the committee for not adhering to the directives of the Speaker and convened the session, requesting that his client Zake appears.
And whatever the Speaker makes on record on the floor of Parliament, the Speaker's directive is captured on the Hansard. So it is there. It's not about to hearsay too.
Whoever is here is not here illegally or was not hijacked. Letters were written to us, meaning that those letters take precedent over the Speaker's communication, because they speak the clerk to Parliament.
She has not been blocked. Nobody is being blocked. Zake is appearing before this committee as a witness, though he is still a member of Parliament.
Lawyer Lukwago says the Speaker's directives are a subject of Constitutional Court description.
We are sitting down with the Honorable Zake and other members of Parliament to challenge this decision of the Speaker, which we consider to be atravailous, because she has no powers.
The Deputy Chairperson of the Rules Committee, Father Charles Onen, vowed to continue with the proceedings, accusing lawyer Lukwago of playing to the gallery.
It is for the good of your client. It is for the good of this committee, for the good of the Parliament. I hope you wish Parliament well and this committee.
Most obliged, Chair.
Yes. So tomorrow, same time, we expect you to be here with your work.
But the complainant said she will not be here tomorrow.
We have not received, any formal communication.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, has defended the move to increase justices of the Supreme Court and Court of Appeal. Government plans to increase the number of Supreme Court justices from 11 to 21 and Court of Appeal justices from 15 to 55. According to Minister Mao, this will address case backlog. Minister Mao appeared before the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, led by MP Fox Odoi.
This justification, which we wrote, states that the increase of the number of justices of the Court of Appeal will result in the increase of the number of justices of the Court of Appeal at regional level. Election petitions will be handled by the regional courts of appeal, thus reducing the cost of justice.
Mao says the increment will also allow some cases not to be affected by emergencies like sickness by some justices.
There are other issues which I hope we will discuss in camera.
Yes. I know. We have also restricted ourselves.
We will request you, Mr. Chairman, to allow us to engage in camera on the issues afflicting the judiciary, including some of the frustrations that I'm sure as members of parliament you have received regarding certain individual justices.
Last week, some legislators attributed the case backlog to poor productivity and case management by justices.
And we are alive to the age of some of our justices, which has disabled the courts from constituting panels. We are also alive to the distances that our justices of appeal have to travel because the court is not regionalized due to the limited number.
The Judicature Amendment Bill 2023 was tabled last week for first reading, and the Speaker referred it to the Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs.
This is part
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Of the comprehensive.
Thanks, Daniel, for that story there. Now, the International Labour Organization will assist Uganda to eradicate child labour, which has become a burden to the country. The Chairman General of the National Organization of Trade Unions, NOTU, Musa Okello, says that Uganda trade policy does not allow employment of children under 18.
During the NOTU National Policy Discussion Forum held in Kampala, a specialist in workers' education, Aktrav Mban Kabu, says International Labour Organization will support Uganda eliminate child labour.
We are looking at many issues, one of which is trade and investment, but also to assist them to appreciate the importance of their role in climate change and technological advancement that will be underpinned by just transition measures, as well as also to tackle the problem of child labour.
The Chairman General of National Organization of Trade Union, Musa Okello, says Uganda trade policy builds a solid economic base to produce quality goods and services for national, regional and international trade.
We have been looking in details into how these agreements benefit the workers, how they cover the labour issues and the rights of workers in the country.
Secretary General of NOTU, Richard Bijirwa, called upon all the trade unions to work with the government so that they achieve more in terms of policy implementation and funding.
I want to tell you, the role of the centre mostly is to ensure that we influence policy and regulations. That is our major role, so that the centers just come and sweep. If we don't influence policy, we don't influence the regulations and the laws, then for us, we are finished.
The Secretary General of COFTU, Sam Yomoki, promised to work with all the trade unions to promote unity among the workers.
But not long ago, those days when we were very active, I used to be one of the actually specialists at one time expert, temporary expert on HIV and AIDS for not too some time ago, and also at the level of IRO for workers.
Sudat Kaye and Richard Chirembeka, UBC News.
Third Deputy Prime Minister Haji Rukia Isanga Nakadama has urged parents to take care of their children during holidays to reduce addictions, child pregnancy and drug abuse. She was opening Zamsa Junior School at Kalaji in Mukono district.
This performance by the students include recitation of the Quran. The third Deputy Prime Minister, Rukia Isanga Nakadama, advised parents to take care of their children during the holiday season, since the latest report shows that the number of pregnancies among schoolgirls has increased.
Especially these ones who are sometimes being raped. Sometimes they just go out of their homes and they end up becoming pregnant. By the time they go back to school, they could no longer, it is not possible for them to go back to school because of such pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies. So I call upon parents to be strict and keep our children.
She also warned parents and teachers against punishing students. The head of the National Medal Selection Committee and the founder of the school, Ajati Zamina Malole, also condemned corporal punishment.
Especially at school and even at home. You find children when they are burnt, children when they have been caned severely, when they have wounds because of those punishments. According to the government policy, children are not supposed to be, they are not supposed to be beaten like animals.
Very good human beings. They are very disciplined because we just talk to them and counsel them. And I think that is the way to go. Instead of the kids being beaten, I think we need to just talk to them. But here in Zamsa Junior School, which is a primary school, we also nurture students and also introduce them to skills, especially when it comes to training them in cookery, bakery, soap making, even tailoring, especially those ones who are between P6 and P5 because those are big enough to sit on a machine, and even ICT.
Robert Katamba, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
To the courts of law now, and Buganda Road Magistrates Court before Magistrate Siena Owomjisha has released on a cash bail of 1 million Ugandan shillings former Managing Director, Uganda Railways Corporation Stanley Sendegeya, and sureties bound on 10 million non-cash. Stanley Sendegeya is accused of uttering false documents and giving false documents to Deloitte Limited to secure the job of Managing Director, Uganda Railways Corporation. In the documents to Deloitte Limited, Sendegeya alleged that he holds a master's degree in business administration. Magistrate Siena Owomjisha adjourned the case to the 12th of December 2023 for mention.
Also presented before court and and the accused person is directed to deposit his valid passport in court before release from custody until any other directives from court regarding that passport. Documentation that was presented by the accused person to court through his advocate. However, I wish to note that proof of medical conditions or medical grounds, proof of medical condition is not a ground envisaged under Section 75 and 77 of the Magistrates Court Act as a ground for grant.
To Busoga now, where the Bishop of Central Busoga Diocese, Right Reverend Patrick Wakula, has urged servants of God to be exemplary and unite believers during their spiritual journeys. He was at the ordination of deacons and other church leaders in Busoga.
The Bishop of Central Busoga Diocese, Right Reverend Patrick Wakula, has quoted the biblical context in Mark chapter 1 verse 17, stating, "Come follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men," as Jesus taught his disciples to join spreading the gospel to grow the kingdom of God. This was during the consecration of deacons and other servants of the church.
Robert Musota, ndairo kulilanga na mazima mulabirizi wa Central Busoga n'abalidawo ebirungi.
It was indeed a remarkable moment as the newly ordained and their families, relatives, friends and well-wishers present celebrated upon hearing their names being read out by the bishop.
Reverend Simon Jagenda from Nasuti to Kabuli. You know bitandika 1st January. Reverend Godfrey Matende from Kabuli to Nabitende. Reverend Robert Musota from college to Naibiri.
The main celebrant and Bishop of Central Busoga Diocese, late Reverend Canon Patrick Wakula, urged them to serve the church diligently and unite believers.
Zenada wakuba yozayoza banange nakubasabira olugendo lw'omutandise tirwaime lugendo lwa Katonda. Era mbasaba musumulukuke mweyambule eyo yona yona muve mu kika muve mu babasemba musome muve mu babasomesa omudumu mugulize eri Katonda abesi.
The newly ordained members committed themselves to fulfill the obligations of the church.
Ensure that I turn the church into a very strong organization looking for the lost sheep, even going as fast changing the Muslims and the Christians, the pagans to turn into the church.
The bishop also confirmed and bestowed the honor of responsibility to other church leaders.
Minister for Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs Hajat Minsa Kabanda has urged parents to raise their children with acceptable morals. She was speaking at the celebration day of St. Balikudembe Mengo Kisenyi and the inauguration of the upcoming Christian Committee.
The celebration began with Mass, led by the Papal Nuncio, His Excellence Archbishop Augustine Kasuja, the retired. After the Mass was the inauguration of the next committee of the church, led by Malumba Expirito. The chief guest minister for Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs, Hajat Minsa Kabanda, thanked the parish leadership for its good work among the community and urged parents to raise up children religiously. The parish priest of St. Balikudembe Mengo Kisenyi Parish, Reverend Father Lubega Emmanuel, urged Christians to work together and build on the matters.
Omulimu gw'okuzimba Eklezia gwaffe nga ffe abakkiriza abamanyi Katonda. Leero olwaleero twataddewo ne tugamba nti tumanyi mikwano gyaffe. Buli omu bw'aleeta ebibiri ebisatu omutwalo akakadde na byonna tugenda tuzimba nga tuzimba. Gwe mulimu nno gwe tuliko. Ate omwaka guno gwe tutandika Ssaabasumba yagutongoza nga gwakutwereeza ebifo by'abajulizi kubanga tukuze emyaka 6 egy'abajulizi ba Uganda.
Former legislator Captain Francis Babu urged Ugandans to establish interfaith harmony and promote unity among themselves.
Jagala Eklezia etuyambe tutambulye ki wamu. Ate nja kutwala omukisa guno nze mu kitolo kyemmanyi ebintu bino. Isirayiri eno bino bye yakoze yatusumuludde amaaso ffenna tuli omuntu ki omu twagala mirembe. Era njagala naffe tusabe emirembe mu kitundu kyaffe kino.
Crispus Arinitwe, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
Welcome back. Let's continue now. And the hearing of the case at the International War Crimes Court, where legislators Segirinya and Sewanyana are accused of the massacre machete murders, has flopped. Mohammed Segirinya was absent at court and is undergoing treatment over some liver complications. Meanwhile, the confirmation of charges against the 8 accused persons in the murder case of AIGP Andrew Felix Kawesi has also flopped, and it has been caused by failure by prosecution to reply to the prosecution's submissions. We have more in this story.
The International War Crimes Division Court before Judge Alice Komuhanji Kauka is still proceeding with the hearing of massacre machete murder case, where legislators Muhammad Segirinya, Alan Sewanyana and 4 others are accused. The pre-trial of the case was impossible when Samuel Muizi, lawyer to Muhammad Segirinya, told court that the accused is still undergoing treatment. Lawyer Muizi presented a letter from the clerk to Parliament, Adolf Mwesije, and some medical documents from St. Francis in Zambia Hospital.
Since the 16th date of November, when Parliament agreed to support transfer and medication, Honorable Segirinya cannot fly out of the country because of the condition he's in. So he's currently just under management by the hospital to enable him travel for further medication in Amsterdam. Against that background, we could not proceed because we could not even receive instructions. As counsel, we went there to see him, but we could not even speak to him because he could not communicate to us. And without instructions, we would not really proceed today.
He asked court to adjourn the matter. Prosecution led by Richard Virivumbuka didn't object to the prayers. Judge Alice Komuhanji Kauka adjourned the case to 19 February 2024.
And I joined the prosecution in wishing him a quick recovery. And A1, A3, A4, and A7 are further remanded till then.
Lawyer Samuel Muizi, however, wants the PP's office to withdraw charges against the accused, alleging delay of prosecution.
And our message is simple to the DPP. You have no case to sustain against the Honorable Segirinya, Honorable Alan Sewanyana and others. For all these years, if you do not have anything to disclose to us, then there is no case. Because that evidence is clearly not present. The only evidence they had was probably with the co-accused persons that they were forcing to implicate A5 and A6. They have been very categorical that they are not going to say anything against the A6 and A5 unless anything changes overnight.
The 4 co-accused persons have been further remanded. Meanwhile, the confirmation of the charges against the 8 accused persons in the murder case of AIGP Andrew Felix Kawesi flopped. Defense failed to make reply to the prosecution's submissions as directed by court during the last court sitting. Defense led by David Kasada, who represented lawyer Ladislas Rakafuz, informed court that he wasn't able to file the reply. Judge Alice Komuhanji set 4th December 2023 for the defense to make its reply, after which court will make its ruling on 4th March 2024.
And ensure to serve counsel for the prosecution and counsel for the other accused persons by the same date. And Mr. Rakafuzi, who is not in court but who you are representing today, shall also file his written submissions not later than the 11th of December 2023 and serve prosecution and also counsel for the other accused persons by the same date.
Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
We'll now take a break and we'll be returning with what's happening in the latest in business.
Jovia ng'oyolekera ku lugendo luno olw'obulamu nkuwa ekirabo eky'amaanyi agatazizibwa, amaanyi okulabibwa n'okuwulirwa mu mawanga ageewala ennyo, okutuuka buli wamu nga yadde togenzeeyo, ensi yonna ng'ekuli mu ngalo. Okutambula mu biseera n'okumanya buli kimu ekirina okumanyibwa. Jovia, kino kye kirabo kyange gy'oli.
Tewali kumu ku ki ky'osobola okukola ku mukutu nnandameggwa ogwa MTN.
Metu Bus Industries, Namamve, the manufacturers of buses for transporters, schools, tour operators, and special purpose vans and any customized vehicle. Metu Bus Industries offers a range of buses known for safety, comfort, and reliability. Depending on your needs, a bus can simply be a point A to point B people mover with just seats, or a special design that includes power outlet, Wi-Fi, television, refreshment center, and any other specification. Buy your buses from Metu and support industrialization of Uganda. Contact us on 0788 118586 or 0782 030303. Email us metuafricabus@gmail.com. Visit our website www.metubusafrica.com.
Prof Bio Research, winners of the Best East Africa Brand Award 2023, invites you for the 8th Great Sundowner Sentes Mera Committee from 26 November to 2nd December 2023, full week blast. Keynote trainer Omukenku Funyanzi Julius, Chuma Chiwagala Chuma. Topics include Pampers and Vermiculite soil fertilizers production, mechanized banana juice production and preservation, Ganoderma mushroom cultivation and castor plant cultivation, aloe vera gel and juice making and castor oil making, bathing and herbal soap production and matchbox making at Tutorial Mall Hall Rooftop from 26 November to 2nd December 2023, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Entrance 100,000 shillings or book via mobile money on 0703 152 152. Buy a ticket at 100,000 shillings and get a free tray of saffron eggs, Ganoderma mushroom garden and a training certificate.
Jovia, ng'oyolekera ku lugendo luno olw'obulamu, nkuwa ekirabo eky'amaanyi agatazizibwa, amaanyi okulabibwa n'okuwulirwa mu mawanga ag'ewala ennyo, okutuuka buli wamu nga yadde togenzeeyo. Ensi yonna ng'ekuli mu ngalo. Okutambula mu biseera n'okumanya buli kimu ekirina okumanyibwa. Jovia, kino kye kirabo kyange gy'oli.
Tewali kumu ku ki ky'osobola okukola ku mukutu nnandameggwa ogwa MTN.
Welcome back, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. Public and private stakeholders in the tourism industry have been urged to collaborate toward the promotion of public and animal health care in and around protected wildlife areas. According to experts, this will enhance conservation of wildlife and contribute toward the growth of the tourism sector. Here is our reporter Charlotte Amuge with a detailed story.
Uganda has more than half of the world's mountain gorilla population, found on the Virunga mountain slopes, Mugoya National Park, and Bwindi Impenetrable National Park. However, for this population to increase, improving primary health care of people and animals in and around wildlife protected areas is necessary.
People sometimes eat bushmeat and they can pick up diseases. They've eaten hippos and contracted anthrax. And so we're trying to prevent people picking up diseases from wildlife and also giving wildlife diseases.
When you're talking about gorillas, you need to be very careful. There are very many people who are coming in to see these gorillas, and I know in terms of revenue, it is generating a lot of revenue for the country. So we are talking about this, and we need to protect it with a lot of jealousy.
According to experts, mountain gorillas and other wildlife species cannot be effectively protected without supporting the improved well-being of the communities living at the boundaries of the natural habitats.
Statutory, it's 20% of the park entrance fees is given back to the communities to support livelihood enterprises. So that is at Uganda Wildlife Authority, 20%.
On top of 20% of park entry fee, $10 from every gorilla permit goes to the local communities around Bwindi. And the money can be a lot.
Through programs like the One Health approach and conservation through public health, the government aims at not only enhancing the country's conservation of wildlife, but also contributing towards the growth of the tourism sector.
We can get disease from the environment, and we can also cause disease to the environment. Okay? So we are saying that the most visible way which we are encouraging is to make sure that we work together in a collaborative way. Once we appreciate and complement the efforts of each sector, we are going to reduce the disease burden by almost 75%, because you know from science that 75% of these diseases that are emerging and that are zoonotic in nature originate from animals. So if we attack the source from the animal host population, then there's not going to be spillover of these diseases from the animal population to the human health population. That means that the human population is going to be healthy and we are going to be productive in everything that we do.
Tourism is a crucial sector of the Ugandan economy, providing employment opportunities and driving economic growth. It is believed that with the right investments and policies, the industry is poised for further success. Charlotte Amuge and Juma Samba for UBC News.
Now, Uganda is hosting an economic development conference with the aim of evaluating the different ongoing research in order to align them with standards that propel economic development across the continent. The conference, a brainchild of the UK-based Centre for the Study of African Economies at Makerere University School of Economics, has attracted participants from far and wide.
Most African countries are still sluggish on transformative economic development. Over 50 African economic researchers are attending a 4-day conference focusing on the quality of research as a driver for economic development.
All we are trying to do is to generate some kind of authenticity, some kind of proof that the methodologies, that the quality of analysis that we have is of standard, and consequently we can have credibility regarding the policy recommendations that will come from the respective research papers. For any information, we have scholars from Cameroon, Morocco, Ethiopia, Kenya, South Africa, Botswana, among others, all situated within Makerere University for now at the central teaching facility.
This is in line with a school of thought that African problems need homebred solutions, which are only possible through quality and authentic research.
We have Africans presenting research, and rather than the usual thing where Europeans come here and they lecture Africans, we actually listen to the research that Africans are doing. We give them feedback, we discuss, we share knowledge, and we learn from all the things they're doing.
For the second time, Africa is hosting this conference. Economic researchers view it as a platform for knowledge and skills sharing.
Is the fact that it brings different mindsets of people
from different economies where you can exchange ideas together, and then it brings different crops of people that are related to your discipline, economics in particular, and then we can brainstorm, exchange ideas, and then learn from each other and improve what we are doing as regards research and application of research to policy making.
The conference is facilitated by Center for the Study of African Economies, a subsidiary of University of Oxford.
Let's have a look now at how the shilling fared today against the following selected regional and international currencies in our Forex report.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sematia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Sports news now, and we look at football, where Uganda's under-18 boys football national team suffered a narrow 1-0 defeat to Tanzania in their opening match of the Sekafa under-18 football tournament in Kenya. Take a watch.
Tanzania's Wilson Sharif scored the only goal for his under-18 side that beat Uganda on Sunday evening in the first game of Group B of the Sekafa under-18 boys football tournament in Kenya. Despite their efforts, the Ugandan team tried their very best, but only fell short at the end.
They got that free kick and it went in, and so we struggled all the way up to the end. We tried our level best in the second half to see that things could be changed, because the pitch was too muddy and there too much water. But the situation again didn't go our way, and we lost. So we think we shall rectify in our training session, do the corrections to see that we come back as usual, because we know we shall make it.
This tournament is the first of its kind at the under-18 level, with Uganda dominating at senior level and the under-15 level, where they recently attained second place at the later championship that concluded in the country earlier this month. The under-18s will redshift focus to their next opponents in Zanzibar, whom they play on Wednesday, 29th November. Mashamira Victor, UBC News.
We've almost come to the end of this bulletin, but before we leave you, let's have a look at our top stories. In our news headlines tonight, Prime Minister Robina Nabanja to forward farmers' challenges to Cabinet for action. Uganda Wildlife Authority kills 2 unknown armed gunmen in Kabarole district. Uganda beats Nigeria close to T20 World Cup qualification. Rather sad news, Uganda under 18 loses first match against Tanzania. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Elizabeth Nakakoni, and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. But we'll leave you with the weather forecast for tomorrow with Jasper Ainebiona. From us and on behalf of the entire news crew this evening, it's good night.
The report from the Uganda National Meteorological Authority, I'm Ainebiona Jasper. Today, several parts of the country, especially around the Victoria Basin, wake up to light thunder rains across. And having a look at the satellite image taken over Africa today, the rain belt is still widely spread, and this will contribute to wet activities across several parts of the country tomorrow morning. Central region, we are forecasting light thunder rains across Kampala as well as in Masaka and the rest of the districts, sunny intervals. Moving on to the eastern parts of the country, high chances of light rains across Jinja as well as in Toru, apart from Soroti with sunny intervals. To the western parts of the country, high chances of light rains across, apart from Balala with sunny intervals, and in Masindi also sunny intervals. Moving on to the northern parts of the country, high chances of sunny intervals over the entire region. Moving on to the central parts of the country, in the afternoon, we are forecasting light thunder rains across several districts, and apart from Kampala, where light rains are expected with a maximum ranging from 27 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. Those traveling to eastern parts of the country, high chances of light thunder rains across Jinja as well as in Toro with a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius, and in Soroti 29 degrees Celsius. To the western parts of the country, still in the afternoon, high chances of light thunder rains across Kabale with a maximum of 22 degrees Celsius, and in Kasese 27 degrees Celsius with light thunder rains, and in Masindi 26 degrees Celsius with light thunder rains. For those traveling to the northern parts of the country in the afternoon, we are forecasting light thunder rains across several districts with temperatures ranging from 28 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius across several districts. To the globe, London, we are forecasting sunny intervals with a maximum of 8 degrees Celsius, and in Doha, 31 degrees Celsius, sunny intervals, while in Arusha, it will be 23 degrees Celsius, cloudy conditions, and Beijing, cloudy conditions with a maximum of 3 degrees Celsius. Thank you so much for watching the weather from the Uganda National Meteorological Center. Stay tuned to UBC. Good evening.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko.
Yo.
Wachiko. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.